What does that even mean, Bauer's Game Corner?
Ahoy there, YouTube! I'm back again today for another game review. Today I'm very excited to be checking out ApocalypZe, Those Left Behind from 9 Kingdoms publication. This is for 2 to 4 players, ages 13 and up. It'll take you about 45 to 60 minutes to play. And in ApocalypZe, you will be trying to survive the zombie apocalypse. Yes, it's another zombie game. You're going to be trying to survive the zombie apocalypse, but this one has a little bit more hand management and resource management in it. Is it good? Is it bad? Let's open it up and see how it plays. Alright, we're going to take a look at what you're going to get inside of ApocalypZe. Now, I want to mention that this is more of a complex game, so I'm not going to go too terribly in detail about how it works. I'm just going to give you a general gist and a feel for how the gameplay works. First and foremost, we got our handy-dandy rule booklet. It is not good. I'll mention this, talk about this more in the end, but needless to say, not the best rule booklet. What you're going to get in this game is cards and more cards. Now, the cards you see in front of you right here, but you're also going to get a lot more cards, because this game is all about constructing your own deck. They come with some decks constructed to help you learn the game. However, once you learn the game, I highly recommend scooting on to the other cards and making your own decks, because it is very easy, and I think it really does add just boatloads of replayability to the game. Now, what kind of cards are you going to get in your deck? Sorry, I should start at the beginning. In order to win this game, you are going to try and outlast your opponents. How do you outlast them? You need to make sure you have cards in your deck. If you run out of cards in your deck, you are out of the game. Player elimination, but it's not completely player elimination because you can still control what are called your raiders, which are essentially people who are going to be attacking the other players, but we'll get more into that later. So what kind of cards are you going to be getting in your deck? The first most important one is your stronghold. This is your base. They all have unique special abilities, unique characteristics. Some of them can hold more people, so you can defend it better. Some of them, when you get attacked, are going to take more damage or less damage, and damage just means you're going to lose some of these cards in your deck. There's some of them have more access points, because in this game what you're going to be trying to do is to send your raiders or your zombies into the other person's stronghold and attack. And some places will have a lot of different doors that you can go through, and some places won't. There's a lot going on in that card. But the special abilities are all unique, and they really do add. Each one you play with will feel different, which I do like about this game. Next, let's go over some of the cards. As you can tell, the artwork is black and white. I personally like it. You'll look at it and see if you like it. First, we'll go over this card. This card can be used as a zombie, or it can be used as a human. And what you're going to be doing is you can send out hordes of zombies at your opponent to attack, or you can send out what's called raiders. Now, raiders are going to be like those guys you see in the Walking Dead and stuff who are just bad people. They're just bad people like, hey, no more government, let's go loot and pillage and rape and all that sort of stuff. They're the bad people you don't want to run into. There's like bikers and cultists who think the zombies should take over the world. I will say this about the game, there's a lot of story going on here, and there's a lot of characters. A very thematic game, which is one thing I really did appreciate about the game. But this guy, you can use him to either defend your base, and he could be a soldier, or you can use him as a zombie, and he can go out there and attack. Now, there's going to be 3 numbers on here. The first one you're going to see is attack. I don't know if you can see it too well. And that's going to be how well you can attack, defense, how well you defend, obviously, and then your value. So, if you get attacked and you lose by a number larger than your value, then this character would be dead. He would be gone, he's not coming back, you would just lose this card forever. However, if he just gets wounded, what would happen is he would go to the bottom of your deck and he will be reshuffled back in. So you want to make sure when you attack somebody that you can successfully kill them. Also, some people will have special, unique abilities. This guy really doesn't have one. It says, when removed, recycle. So essentially he just comes back into play. Next, another thing you can have are going to be attachments. Now we got one attachment here, but you can have other attachments. So for instance, we have our baseball bat and we have a chain link fence. Obviously, the baseball bat will be something that you will attach to a person. This will give them, I'm assuming, more power, which means they'll have more attack, and that's just something you can attach to your people to help you defend against zombies. Pretty self-explanatory. The chain link fence, on the other hand, and this is something I think is really cool, is something you can attach to your stronghold. So you can make your stronghold stronger, which is a really cool thing, and there's a lot more of those cards in the expanded deck than in the beginning deck. There's also characters who will be specifically zombies, and they'll have special abilities. So, for instance, this one is Trudy, and her special ability reads, may not be targeted by a weapon. So, essentially, if you have a bunch of guys defending your base, but they all have weapons, then Trudy's going to sneak right on through there, and she can do some damage to your base. So they're all going to have a lot of unique special abilities that you're going to go through. There's also purple cards in here, which are called, I believe, trumps or wild cards. They'll have unique special abilities, and they'll be like kind of spot things. Like, if you have this, then you can do this. And this game is about hand management. You're going to have a whole big bunch of cards in your hand, and you need to know when to use them at the right time. So the next thing we got are places that you can loot. Because this game would be over real quick if you just lost cards, this is the general store. This is something you can set out, and then you can go loot this place. Scavenge this place, I believe is the word they use. And if you scavenge it, then you will gain more cards from it, which will go back into in front of you. So you can gain survivors that you might have lost, or you can gain items that you might have lost, so on and so forth. But it's going to be difficult to do that because other people can attack that. And each of these locations, these scavenging locations, only has one entrance. Whereas I mentioned the entrances earlier, this military base, there's like 6 entrances. So essentially, you can break up and defend a whole bunch of different things. That's one thing that's going to be kind of hard to explain. I'll see if I can do it real quick. So let's pretend that these are all soldiers. They're all defending this church. They're all civilians, I should say. And let's pretend that a bunch of zombies are coming up, and we got these 2 zombies. Now, how this works is essentially the person that is controlling these zombies can decide to either have them attack together or split them up and attack at different access points. Now, if you have a big group of zombies, then obviously, chances are you're not going to be able to defend it all. So for this one, we might go 2 to 1, and then this zombie would face this person, and this zombie would face these 2 people. You would figure out who has the most attack, who has the most defense, and you would go from there. If a zombie kills you, or gets through, they get through your base and attack you, you're going to take some damage, which means you're going to lose cards. You're going to continue going on until, as I mentioned, someone loses all their cards. If they lose all their cards, then they will lose Apocalypse. And that, in a very loose nutshell, is how Apocalypse is played. Alright, Apocalypse from 9 Kingdoms Publications. What are my final thoughts? Let's go over the pros. Let's go over the cons. First, on the con side, the game's not going to be for everybody for a couple different reasons. First and foremost, the rule booklet's bad. It's just a bad rule booklet. It's not the worst I've ever seen by any means, but there's some spots in the rule booklet where literally just a sentence ends. They don't finish the sentence. And it's like, what was going to be at the end of this? Like, I don't know how that sneaks past you when you're going through the rule booklet. It's just, some things should have been in different spots, some things could have been reworded, I would have liked more play examples. The rule booklet is just not the best at all. Also, it is zombie themed, so it's not going to be for everybody. 2 to 4 players, so you can't play it with a bigger group. And the last thing that is going to be rubbing some people the wrong way is that it's black and white, which is not going to be for everybody. Some people like color cards, some people like black and white cards, and if you really are against black and white, well, might not be for you. Moving on to the pros. The rule booklet is bad, and I was nervous. I read the rule booklet. I got this. It was on Kickstarter. Now, they sent it to me so I could check it out. I got the rule booklet, and I was like, oh, gosh, this is going to be a train wreck. I was nervous, because I was digging the cards. I love zombies, and I was looking at all the cards, and I was like, hey, this looks pretty cool. And once we tried to read the rule booklet, I was like, ugh. But rest assured, Apocalypse is a lot of fun. And I think this might be something that people really, really love. I could see this being some people's favorite games for a couple different reasons. In this game, you're going to have pre-constructed decks you can use. They're okay. But the real heart of this game is when you start mixing up your deck and having special survivors and special zombies and special wild cards and all these special things in your deck. And one thing I really liked about this is, you know, when you got like a game like Mage Wars, I love Mage Wars, you know, you have to be worried about points, values, and this sort of thing. No, not in this game. It's just, you have this many cards, you get that many cards, your deck is good to go. This game, I enjoyed. And I think the more time you put into this game, the more you will get out of this game. Like, if you play this, you know, on a monthly basis, I think you will really enjoy this game, building different decks, getting different groups of raiders going out, and all sorts of different things. Overall, Apocalypse is a good game. I can recommend it, even though I would recommend watching the playthrough video as opposed to trying to figure out the rule booklet. but I did enjoy Apocalypse. If you're looking for a good zombie game, check this one out. If you enjoyed this review, please be sure to subscribe to my channel. Thanks for your time, YouTube. That was terrible, I'm sorry.
That was a review for Apocalypse, Those Left Behind. For more reviews and previews, check back at Bauer's Game Corner.